looks to the left, looks to the right. Okay, I think we're allowed to say this. The Jets are the healthiest offensive line team in football. And that's pretty notable for this season and pretty notable for the Jets. We'll talk about that and more. Boy Green Daily with a special guest. Friday starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Zooey mama.
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, my lovely abode. It's a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. We're here on December 5th. Only 5 games remaining in the New York Jets 2025 regular season, and the final matchup of the Miami Dolphins. We'll talk about that today as well. Let's bring in my special guest. It's been a little bit. There's been a Notre Dame trip. There's been Thanksgiving, Black Friday holiday festivities. So it's for all you people that have been waiting on the edge of your seat. One of the greatest returns in the history of history. And let's bring him back in. B.O.B., one of the greatest authors of our time. Let's bring in Bob Lederer, baby, here on a Friday morning. Good morning.
Hey-o! Wait, get ready for Hef.
Yeah, there you go. I imagine he'll be the first caller. A little hacksaw Jim Duggan there. I like it. So, Bob, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, what is the 1 week old reaction now from your fiance? I heard your mother on the video, and she was, "Oh my God, what are they doing to my boy?"
Yeah.
But what's the reaction? And you know what? I really thought that Alon was going to give you a 24-hour reprieve. At the last second. I thought he was going to step in and be a man, but Alon, you were not the man I thought you were.
Yeah. Well, my fiance would have appreciated that. We're randomly, I stopped podcasting work and writing work for a second. I went to the living room and I just sat down, and she just turned to me and says, "Hey, I just want you to know something." I'm like, yeah, what's up? She said, "It's not growing on me at all, and I can't wait until the beard is back. I just wanted you to know that." And then she stormed out of the room, and I'm like, oof.
Oh, my God. In
tears? No, in anger. Just like, I can't believe you idiot that you
but your inquiring minds want to know, what did they find inside that beard after all those years?
The FBI is still doing investigations on the remnants of the previous, man hair that was going on there, and they've not returned back the full report yet. So as soon as that comes back, I'll be
expected a little mini bat to come flying out.
Sure, animals, food, who knows what could have been in there. So, she's quite upset. She can't wait for it to grow back. She's trying to look up, Google things. Is there stuff that while he's sleeping, I can throw in his beard like Jack and the Beanstalk, and suddenly it'll just grow back to form? So it is not happening. I've received a lot of compliments. I appreciate that.
I think you look very sharp, to be honest.
Oh, why? Thank you.
I mean, I won't date you or marry you, but I think it looks pretty sharp.
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
Did you always have that growth in all the time that you've known your now fiance?
No, this look that is currently being displayed is the look I've had for most of my life. I've had basically some level of facial hair since I was in 5th grade. So that just, the God sort of blessed me, I guess.
5th grade.
Yeah, 5th grade is where I had my mustache. And everyone else was like, "Who is this guy? What the hell?" I'm like, I don't control it, man. I don't know what the hell's going on up there.
And at one time, I tried when I was very young. It was a very good year. Yeah. But I tried to grow something.
Okay.
And all I got was young Abe Lincoln.
Not
bad. And another time in the 70s,
sure,
I tried to grow a mustache. And after about 7 weeks, my boss came over to me and said, "Are you trying to grow a mustache?"
And
the answer was yes. And
that
afternoon it came off.
Okay. Well, So we'll see how quickly it goes back. But yeah, I had this forever, to be honest with you. And then my fiance met me, and then one thing led to another. I just tried to grow it out, and I've been with her for 11 years. And I tried to just grow it out, and it grew to the longest I've ever had it is like mid chest. That's the longest it's ever been. It got very, very
Okay,
long.
and then most importantly, after
Yeah.
your wife, what
Yeah.
was the kids' reaction? First of all, did either of them not recognize you? And two, did either of you go, what happened? Where's the rest of you?
Yes. So first off, my son was the first. So I went to a professional barber,
Yeah.
had it done, and then walked through the door. My son saw me immediately and went, "Dad!" And so nothing. He was unfazed by the change of facial hair. My daughter, when she initially saw me, just like turned and then caught eyes with me and went, "No, no," and then just booked it into another room. And then I was like, wow, okay. And then later that happened again when I went into the bedroom looking for something. I didn't know she was in the room, and she just suddenly went, no, and dove down on the ground. And then there was a time, because I was with my family in New Hampshire for like a week. So when I came around in bed, I was just sitting on the couch, and then she walked over to me and went, Dad, where'd it go? And she started grabbing where it was and just was like, touching my face and saying, all gone, all, because she's also doing sign language. So it's just going, all gone, all gone. And I'm like, yep, sorry, honey, it is.
I think you should have told her all of Santa's helpers have to do this before Christmas.
Yeah, So I should have given her a whole spiel of explaining why.
Because all that extra weight on, all that extra weight on the sleigh, that's a lot.
I am more aerodynamic now, so I feel like I'm sort of increasing my 40 times. So that part's refreshing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel now I've done my journalistic responsibility, so now we can talk about the Jets.
Well, let's get into it again. Some people I saw received a lot of hate. I do all the time. So this is not a complaint. I get it all the time. But on social media, I wrote about it, and then I posted on social media that the Jets are the only team in the National Football League as we head into Week 14, which officially got kicked off last night. We're the only team this season that have started the same 5 offensive linemen all season long. Now, of course, again, everyone out in the audience, days before the season, the Jets suffered a devastating injury with Elijah Tucker, their starting right guard, tearing his triceps and being out for the year. But since Week 1, since the season started, the Jets were able to pivot very quickly for that injury that happened. They're the only team in football that have started all 5 all season long. And for the Jets as a team, they haven't accomplished that since 2012. So it's been 13 years. And I put that out on social media like, wow, blessed be he, the gods. And a lot of people went, yeah, thanks for jinxing it, you jerk. And started throwing very heavy objects at me and tomatoes. And I went, I see. So, fans are not very happy that I've apparently pointed this out. But I just want to say, Thanksgiving was last week. What are you thankful for? I'm thankful for that. The Jets have an offensive line continuity. Is something the Jets haven't had in a long time. Mekhi Becton's and all these other cats that have come in and out with injuries. George Fant, and again, there's just so many players that have been hurt for the Jets over the years.
And the Jets have proven to themselves that really the only way you do this is by going and getting the guys yourself out of college.
Right.
I mean, this is the first time since the Rex era that they've had, steady, reliable offensive linemen, and particularly at the tackles.
Yeah. So it's refreshing. Now, Bob, I'm curious your thoughts on it, because the Jets, 3 of these 5 that are starting right now are going to be here next year. Guaranteed, no question about it. Armand Membu, Olumuyiwa Fashanu, and then, of course, you have Joe Tippmann. Now, where Joe Tippmann plays is up for debate. We could talk about that. But the 2 that are floating are Josh Myers. Is he going to come back? He was on a 1-year deal. And John Simpson's at the end of his 2-year deal that he signed a couple years ago. And then the other player we talked about that's not a part of this 5, but he was going to be a starter, was Elijah Tucker, who's also a free agent. What do you do with all those guys? Because the Jets have to, I guess maybe you could bring back all 3 if Josh was cool with it, but I'd imagine he wouldn't be. So you're going to have to make some business decisions on who to keep, if any, multiple, all of them, none of them. I don't know.
Well, Josh Myers is, as you say, on a 1-year, and they're not paying him very much to be
$2 million.
But they have all that cap space for next year. I don't think that he would be reluctant to come back if they put enough green in front of him.
I see.
Because he has to also know his vulnerabilities, and he was considered the weak link on the offensive line this year, and yet they have meshed together as a group, which, again, going back to that book that I wrote so many years ago.
What was that again? What was that book again, Bob? I'm sorry. Let me go full screen here.
Let's.
Beyond Broadway, Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. Interesting. And then can you lift that a little bit? Who wrote that? Oh, Bob Lederer.
I emphasize. They kept changing it on me, but I emphasize all caps for team.
Yeah,
because it was a team,
yeah.
and part of the team concept is that so well that you instinctively can react to the guy to your right and the guy to your left, because you know what they can and can't do. You know what vulnerabilities they have. So with respect to Josh Myers, you're talking about a guy who was, again, the lowest rated guy going into the season. I don't know what his ratings have been, but given how well the offensive line has performed, it's probably, adequate or more than adequate. So he could, again, be exposed if he went somewhere else and was unfamiliar with the guys playing around him. So my general idea is keep all 5 of these guys.
Okay.
In fact, Simpson, from what we all know, has a wife who is a physician in the New York metropolitan area.
Correct.
And that might help anchor him, towards the Jets. And that might mean that they might get a little bit team-friendly, compensation package for him. Clearly, they're going to have to draft some people. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to sign some offensive line help, although that's going to be tricky, because unless you're going to guarantee more or less or give enough money to somebody that they're going to be considered a starting position player, it's going to be hard to bring somebody in. So I think they're likely to it's certainly going to bring in depth. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they have backup offensive linemen, but they've been lucky this year. Oh, I hate to even say it, that nobody's been hurt, because I don't want to find out how good or bad those offensive linemen are behind starting 5.
I agree,
especially for Taylor's, well-being at this point. So I think the depth is what they need in any event. I would not be surprised if they drafted a center. And Myers becomes a backup, and you pay him a little bit more to be the backup, which might not be a bad deal for him. You don't have to get beat up every week, and you can still pocket some nice, multi-million dollars paychecks, every other week. So
would you keep ABT? What would you do there?
I think he's gone.
Me too.
I mean, how much are you going to pay a guy who's had the injury history that he has?
Torn tricep, torn Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, he's out of the 4 years he's been with us, right? This
is the 5th.
This is the 5th. So he's missed so much of 3 of those years. When he's healthy, he's really up there. He's near all pro level, if not all pro level. But can you really count on him? For that, and does he want to stay? So many people have said he's a West Coast kid.
I've heard that.
Back to the West Coast. To me, it's going to be a matter of who offers him the best deal. You know, because his career is an offensive lineman, which is susceptible to a lot of injuries, and he's only got so many years in which he can take advantage, of that skill set. Before people are going to write him off, or he's going to get too old, or he's not going to want to take the beating anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same about you. How can you keep paying? I like the guy, the human being. Yeah. I like. He seems to be a stand-up guy. The football player, like every time. Speaking of injuries, right? We just said, wow, the Jets have been so lucky with injuries. The Jets have been so unlucky with injuries with ABT that he's had to play every position outside of center. And they've probably even considered him playing center at one point. So he's played left tackle, left guard, right tackle.
And he's done without a whimper.
100%. He's never complained. Yeah. The team needs this. He's like, no problem. When they need this, no problem. And that's why, again, person in that. Those are great reasons that you'd want to keep him. But man, the money, like
Well, yeah, how much? I mean, it's a matter of how much. How much is he willing to take? And if he came back, does he get inserted into the starting lineup? Does he get to challenge for a starting position? Or again, as with the Myers, do you say, hey, we'll pay you $6 million, okay? And you could be a backup, and you may only have to play what amounts to 2 or 3 games the entire year, which will safeguard, your health and your ability, to maybe get, a payday after next season. So but I really don't see any allegiance in this situation because again, he's only got a few years in his career to bang the bucks, and so if somebody offers him a 2-year contract, I think he's going. And I can't see anybody offering anything more than a 2-year contract. I think most of their deals will be a 1-year come and show us. So
yeah, that would surprise me. But the only, teams that we do know, they get desperate with offensive linemen. And he's a young one. He's got a unique story. There's a reason why anyone is a free agent in the NFL. Like something had to have happened that even allowed them to be a free agent. So they have warts. But some people may be willing to overlook the warts for AVT because of his youth and that he can play tackle or I imagine that versatility will be sexy to other teams. So, if the Jets can bring him back on a 1-year deal, I'm open to it. But if it's more than a 1-year deal,
no one's going to give him $12 or $14 million to be the maneuverable tackle guard, that sort of thing. They're going to want to bring him in to play one position,
hope so,
and basically hold that position still, and be really good at it. And again, if somebody does that, I can't see that they're going to give him more than a year. I think any team is going to give him more than a year for any appreciable amount of money.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's go to a super chat, and Bob, you can confirm this.
Wow.
Shout out to NC Green. You have 3 raffle tickets to our contest. And speaking of, this is all, I love that all the connective tissue here, both with our giveaway and also this question, are all interconnected, which is beautiful because our giveaway for this month's raffle will be highlighted by this beautiful Nick Mangold tribute shirt, a true Jet 74, and that caricature representation of Nick Mangold on the front of the shirt. So that'll be part of our raffle, which NC Green, you now have 3 tickets to. And your question is this: all of the good all-time Jets teams had a good center. You had Schmidt, you had Fields, you had Mawai, you had Mangold. You need one. Who do you like of all these centers? Who are some of your favorite Jets centers here, Bob?
There's no doubt that Mawai and Mangold were the 2 best. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Joe Fields was a really good center, and like the others, he was stalwart. He just was. You could pencil him in every week, and Fields was not somebody who got a lot of publicity, but he just showed up and did a very workmanlike job every week, and they didn't have to worry about him. John Schmidt is a hell of a guy. In fact, John Schmidt is the only guy that I've really thought about trying to bring here on the program because he's a smart businessman after he played football. And he told me some great stories about the Jets, but his story breaking in with the Jets was that he had been sent to the Jersey Jets, which is in those days, that was kind of their taxi squad.
Sure.
They had a team of, I think maybe it were half a dozen guys that they assigned to go play. I think they played every Friday night. So anyway, Mike Hudak, who was the regular center, got hurt. And they brought in Fields. They flew him in at the very last second into San Diego. And he had to face off against Ernie Ladd, who was the biggest, baddest guy in pro football at that time. He was like 6'9", and he was 300 pounds. And there were no real other 300-pounders on the defensive side. And he tried to use the philosophy, Schmidt did, of what he had learned at Hofstra from his coach there against Ernie Ladd. And he ran into the unmovable object, who basically threw him all over the field until on a punt return, he ran into Ernie Ladd, and Ernie Ladd ended his season by throwing him around.
Jesus.
But John Schmidt's a funny guy and a good guy, and he was he was an all AFL center the year they won the Super Bowl. And other than that, he was very reliable and very, very strong. And he and Namath had a very good friendship and kinship. As Schmidt said to me, what would you expect? He had his hands on my rear end for about 10 years. So, you know, I've got a warm spot in my heart for John Schmidt. But yeah, I mean, centers are essential to every good offensive line.
Of course. Yeah.
And when I first started paying attention to football, the guy that I tried to learn about, and there wasn't much you could do about learning guys from other teams and other cities in those years, but Chuck Bednarik, who was on the Eagles and on their 1960 NFL championship team, he was their center, and in those days he played both ways. He was also their middle linebacker, and he liked to hurt people no matter which side of the line.
Well,
so centers are very, very important. NC, and I still think they're going to draft another one because I think they're very happy with how Tippmann has worked out at right guard, and I think centers are more available in the draft, especially if you're in a good draft position. Tippmann was, I think he was considered the best or the second best center coming out of the draft. The other one was the kid that the Giants drafted.
John Michael Schmitz. Yes.
Yeah, John Michael Schmidt. And actually, when the Jets took Tippmann, I was upset because, hey, Judge Michael Schmidt is still out there. He's considered number one. Well, we got the right one. We got the guy that was inevitably he turned out to be the better player. So I think they will try to get. I would not at all be surprised, you know, if they use a second or a third round pick to get a center.
I could totally see that as well. And then again, quick history stuff here. I mean, the Jet fans are lucky. For 18 consecutive years, you went to Kevin Mawai, and then there was no break. It was the exchange happened that offseason in 2006 when the Jets drafted Nick Mangold with the 29th overall pick in the first round. Their first of two offensive line picks in that first round. DeBrickashaw Ferguson out of Virginia was the first one. And you just had this run of elite center play for a very long time. And a lot of us just forgot about it. Like, obviously, centers checked off the bucket list. And then as soon as Nick Mangold retired in 2016, or left and retired in 2016, we went through this, like, musical chairs of centers. So, like, oh, dear God, wait, where was yesteryear? Where we just knew that center was just locked in. I'm curious what the Jets do here because Tippmann had previously – so, like, when he was a rookie, he played guard and center wherever they needed him. And then in year 2, he played center. And now we're here in year 3, and he's been thrown back to guard. And he's played well at guard. The numbers, I have some of the numbers in the piece down below of his PFF grade, being one of the better in football at guard. What did the Jets do? They're going to have an opportunity if they don't bring back Josh Myers to conversate about it and have an open chat to say, hey, is Tippmann better at center? Is he better at guard? And he's a taller player, and sometimes that can put centers in compromising positions. There's not a lot of
what kind of numbers has Myers had this year?
His numbers have been sort of, I don't want to say mediocre. That feels insulting. You know,
average.
Yeah, average. That's the best way to put it. He's been just average, but that's fine because not everyone has to be a superstar in the offensive line. Myers has been, and I know there's been a lot of complaints about Myers this season from the chat, but I would say, relatively speaking, it's not like he's been a sieve. Like he's been okay.
And again, that comes down to the teamwork between the guys on the line, because they can stand up and help when they see or they assume that Myers or the whoever's playing with them on either side may have trouble or has had trouble in the past, either with the player on the opposite side of the line. Or with the play call, because not everybody is as smooth on every play call as every other play call. So that's why you haven't really heard, I think, very much about dissatisfaction with Myers. Myers is not going to have any trouble finding a job somewhere in the NFL. I hope it's still with the Jets in some capacity because, again, he can play a bunch of different positions.
He certainly can. I would say this. You were right. You mentioned earlier that, the Jets, with plenty of picks, could just take a center in the middle. They took Tippmann in the second round, and that's worked out just fine. So they could go in that direction. There will be a unique opportunity available in free agency, NC Green, to add to that center history. The Baltimore Ravens declined the fifth-year option before this season that just occurred on Tyler Linderbaum. He is scheduled to be a free agent this offseason. Now, you could say, well, won't the Ravens just franchise tag him? Here's why they probably won't. The franchise tag number for an offensive lineman is, I have it right here in front of me, projected for next season, is $27 million. The highest paid center in football right now. Yeah. So franchise tags do not discriminate between positions. So they don't have a number for a tackle. They don't have a number for a guard. They don't have a number for a center. They have one number for everyone. So for a guy like Linderbaum, if you want a franchise tag him, it's going to cost you $27 million. The highest paid center in football right now is making $18 million per year. So you would have to pay $9 million more than the next team if you wanted to franchise tag him. I imagine the Ravens aren't going to do that. So if I'm Linderbaum, I can force my way to free agency and open a bidding war between the Ravens, Jets, and anyone else is out there. So again, there is a unique path. Good players don't often hit free agency, but because of this unique situation, the Ravens shouldn't have declined that fifth-year option. They're regretting that major, and now there's a chance here to bring him in as a talented free agent.
But $18 million for a center is a huge number. Even
we're not saying that's the number. I'm just saying that's right. What the highest paid center is getting paid right now.
But if that's what the market is, and we don't know if Linderbaum is the best,
right? We don't know,
or how he is rated, but
sure.
He's going to want something in that area, whether it's 15 or 18. And I can just hear the media now squawking about, hey, the Jets only have $75 million in available cap money, and they spent a quarter of it on a center when they have so many other needs. So I think they're going to make a judgment based on what the draft looks like and find a guy that they really want. Maybe their second first-round pick ends up being a center who they signed for $3 million a year for the next 5 years, and they've got a bargain, assuming that works out. So you heard it.
Yeah, I see Indy is asking this. Yeah. The Ravens have 11. They're 11th in cap space for 2026. They have $47 million. The Jets have over $100 million. So they have more than double what the Ravens have.
For them, it would be even a third of their cap space or worse, to retain him. So thank you, Indy. That's important information.
100%. And also, so the top two highest paid centers in football are at the top of the market, obviously, at $18 million and $17 million per year. That's Cam Jurgens of the Eagles. That's Creed Humphrey of the Chiefs. But then there's a big gap in the market. The next closest one is $3 million less. That's Drew Dahlman of the Chicago Bears. So, it'll be interesting. A lot of times free agents get overpaid. But that would not be a bad one.
And I hate to keep harkening back to the team here where I live, but their offensive line this year has, as the year has gone on, they have really solidified and made life really easy. Their running attack, because of their offensive line, has been awesome. If you watch the Eagles game against them on Friday, they just tore the Eagles defense apart with their running game. Because ironically, their passing game, according to even their coach Ben Johnson, is their weak link. So,
hey, credit the Bears' creativity. For those who don't know, and maybe you don't because you're not a Bears fan, but if you're not paying attention, they did it by hook and crook and everything in between. They had free agents. They had trades. They traded for Joe Thuney, formerly the Kansas City Chiefs. They did draft their kid out of Tennessee, the former top 10 pick at right tackle. So, they did everything, every kind of investment you could, turned over every rock for that offensive line. To look at them, they're the number one seed in the NFC. What in the world? Wow.
Well, their coaching, their offensive line coaching has been outstanding because they have two veteran guards that were both free agents that they brought in. And by the way, they were being criticized in some quarters because both of the guys that they signed as free agents to play guard for them were in their early 30s.
Wow.
And people were pointing out, hey, they've had their better days already, and will they be able to stand up, to the full season? But they had a problem at tackle, and they have played chess and checkers with their left tackle and their right tackle the whole year, but they made it work with guys that, to fans outside of Chicago and even myself who are those guys? They were highly drafted, but they've had their weaknesses, as the year has gone on or in their early career. But right now, that offensive line is really holding up and making themselves a difference maker.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And again, trench warfare is where everything else expands. Breece Hall is on pace to have the best year of his career. The Jets' offensive line been healthy all year. Coincidence? I think not. So I think that's another factor into this. What do you think of the Jets-Dolphins game? We got a rematch. Week 4, the Dolphins had our number. Beat us on Monday Night Football. We were winless. They were winless. They got their first win. They've been playing very, very well. They've won 4 of 5. They've won 3 in a row. The Jets have won 3 of 5. So, they've been doing some
well, okay, now we're getting into the meat of what really interests me.
Okay.
Excuse me. As I predicted before the season started, they have gotten better and better.
Yeah.
And Aaron Glenn is now looking a lot better than he did 6 weeks ago with how this team has come together, how their spirit has not been broken, how they've really gotten excited about winning a couple of football games.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. I hope they lose 21-20 on Sunday. I really.
Oh, the Dolphins?
I really want a good draft pick. And now,
wait. You want the Jets to lose?
Oh yeah.
What the? Come on, Bob.
I don't buy this philosophy of we play to win the game. Yeah, I know you play to win the game, but that could have happened a couple of years ago, and then they beat the Rams, which didn't need to happen. And they won another game, and it cost them the first pick in the draft.
Well, Trevor Lawrence has been mediocre.
They are with the 7 pick.
Yeah.
They are on the outside looking in, according to everybody, and that's whether they get a quarterback or not.
Sure. Okay.
Apparently, there are 5 or 6 really highly rated NFL ready players.
Okay.
And I'd like them to have to do that without having to make a deal where they have to give up any of their draft capital. And I'm not talking about 6th or 7th rounders. I don't want to trade a 3rd round or a 4th round pick to move up to get a guy in the 1st round. I just don't want to see that at all. So I expect them to play, a very strong game on Sunday. I think they're at a great advantage because the weather should be hellacious, at least as far as temperature goes.
Sure, yeah.
Which can't really be helpful to the Dolphins. The Dolphins have played better, but they almost blew it against New Orleans last week.
They should have blown it, yeah.
Two has gotten better, and that's without, his favorite receiver. So, every Sunday when they play is something I look forward to.
Okay.
Because they only play 17 times a year.
That's correct.
But I really, it's hard for me to get excited when they win a game that I know is going to hurt them long term. And I know Aaron, no coach wants to do that or hear that. No player wants to lose. I know what I feel like after they win a game or lose a game. And I'm sure players, you can multiply it by a factor of 100, pro or con. So I just want to see improvement. Everyone has written this week about Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell this and Mitchell that. Hey, I'm excited about Mitchell too. He's done it in 1 game. Okay,
pretty good. 100-yard game, first 100-yard game.
Yeah, I mean,
first touchdown of his career. Very nice.
I mean, we've looked and said, wow, we got a receiver who can get open and can catch the ball. Well, let's see him do it again. I mean, Mechie played a good game 2 weeks ago against Baltimore. Last week, dropsies.
Yeah.
I said after the game last week to you, what I like about the 2 guys is that it gives them depth for next year, which is my way of saying I wouldn't necessarily pencil in either guy to be a starter next year. Hopefully they can get better talent than these guys, but give him a chance and let's see what Mitchell can do. Mitchell's going to get more attention on Sunday than he got, last week. Because when you burn a team like that, even if the quarterback can't reach you on the run from 50 yards away.
Wow.
So, and I want to see the defense. The defense has been kind of a no-name defense. They have found ways to get guys who weren't even on the team at the beginning of the season to make big plays in big situations. And Stevens has been everything that they thought he was going to be when everybody else was saying, "Are you guys nuts? You want to give this guy $37 million? What?"
Yeah.
Baltimore can't wait to get rid of him quickly enough. So, and Briggs, who has played very, very well and solidified himself for the time being, as a starter. Let's see what he continues to do. I want to see with the young kids continuing to progress and to improve, because first of all, it tells me the coaching staff is doing a really good job, which is very key. And you're going to depend on the youth, because football is a grueling game from year to year, and getting particularly solid performances from guys year to year to year to year doesn't necessarily last very long. The typical average tenure of an NFL player is, I think, a little under 5 years.
Yeah, the typical average actually is 3 years, is the updated number.
So when you get guys who have either great speed, great like Mitchell does, and a great ability to get open. Everyone last week is going, "Oh, look at him, he can get open." I mean, if you watched any film, and I'm not a film guy, but if you watch any film when they picked him up from Indianapolis, you saw that immediately. The guy leaves the line of scrimmage, he makes a move, and he's wide open, but 5 yards.
Yeah.
And they back off on him because of his speed. So he just needs to run better, crisper routes, as well as, we haven't really seen him run a post. We've seen him run a fly, but there's a whole arsenal of passing routes that guys need to play. And Mechie seems to be more like, I think he's more of the third receiver type, who will get open just past the line of scrimmage and get you 8-9 yards. And hopefully he can break one now and then. So I want to see improvement from the young guys more than anything else. And that's really what I hope. Now, when is our fullback coming back, if he is coming back?
Andrew Beck? Isn't he already back? What do you mean?
No, the kid who got hurt, he was the number 2 back. He was supposed to be the big star.
Not the fullback. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, you're talking about Braylon Allen.
Yeah, when is Allen coming back?
It looks like no. It looks like he's going to be out for the season, and he's going to focus on 2026.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. So be it. Be it. Just gives more chances to the guys they've got to show what they can do, and to get the experience under their belt, that they need. I'm happy the team has gotten better. It's more palatable to sit there and watch them playing competitively and making progress and not getting blown out. I mean, the defense gave up points last week, but they were solid when they needed to be.
Yeah,
more or less they were like that, in other games in recent months too. So
that's refreshing. Hey,
that's what I think about the Dolphins game.
Well, let's welcome him back. James Kennedy has joined the Boy Green Coffee Club. Opportunity is available for all of you guys out there in the universe. You guys don't have to wait for someone to gift you a membership. You can buy your own membership. It's currently the pinned comment, although that's about to disappear because we're going to open up the phone lines here shortly. But you guys can always do it in the YouTube description down below. So welcome back, Mr. Kennedy. Love it, James. Welcome back, brother. Great to have you here, and you have a raffle ticket, of course, to our contest as well. So thank you for that. I see your guy Philly Noodles jumping in. We love Philly Noodles. I'm sure he will be one of the callers.
Wow.
Member for 17 months. All right, there's got to be an award for such things. Philly Noodles, appreciate you. Caveat Titman, Star Guard. Goodbye, AVT. I'm interpreting all these emojis like I'll probably have to do for my eventual 12-year-old daughter on her phone to see if she's doing anything she shouldn't be. try to get all these emojis past me. All right, so CABT, sign John Simpson, and then draft your center. Okay, there you go. All right, it's a solid plan, Philly Noodles. That's a solid plan. I'm sure you'll expand upon that even more when we have you on the show. And before we open up the phone lines, Bob, the only thing I want to add to this, you saying, they'll have a better draft pick if they lose. Like, the thing is, for AG, his record is his record. While a lot of Jet fans are sort of checked out for whatever the final result is, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, they don't seem to care. This is AG's record forever. So let's say he finishes, I'm going to make this up, 3-14. Next year, if they start off 0-4 or something, all of a sudden he's 3-17. We're like, boy, this AG guy sucks, because we're going to keep pointing to that record. So the wins, while they may not seem to matter in the season where there is a direct path to them being eliminated from the playoffs, we'll talk about that tomorrow, unfortunately. But like, this is AG's going to be on his Jets epitaph forever. So like, it doesn't that matter for AG of stacking up wins and putting him in a better position. So when things flip in the future, inevitably, that he's like, hey man, look at all this. When you start stacking the numbers, it doesn't look as bad if you.
I hate people who in every part of life, when you make a strong point like you just did, I hate it when they go, but what about? I'm going to make an exception. Okay. But what about? We've had a bunch of head coaches who had a good first year.
Sure.
All downhill from there.
Herm, Eric Mangini,
and
Rex.
Weeb Eubank was 5-8-1 his first 3 years as coach of the Jets. But what was important was what was happening behind the scenes with the player development. And that's really what's most important here. And I give Muji a tremendous amount of credit. In fact, I called into you last Sunday, and I wanted to give the game ball to Muji, because it was 4 of his guys that he has brought in since training camp, not even from last offseason, who were the
Did we lose Bob? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I think we lost Bob there. Don't know what happened there. Do we have Bob? Nope. All right, Bob just hit a wall. I'm not sure what happened there, Bob. If you guys could still hear me, let me know. Let me know if there's any issues here, just on my side. All right. Craig Mechanic says, I thought it was my service. Okay, so you guys can hear me. It's just him that dropped off the face of the earth. Yeah, sometimes I wait because sometimes it's me, and then it freezes and then goes outside. I guess that's it. By the way, quick shout out. We have 200 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe here on the program. We have 100 of those 200 watching on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. All right, thank you. Everyone saying they can hear me. Appreciate that. This has been fun. Shout out to our folks over at Homage. I got the old Boba Jet here. Oh, Boba Jet. There you go. Some representation for some Star Wars action happening here on the show. Again, welcome back, Mr. Kennedy, to our Boy Green Coffee Club. You have a raffle ticket. Again, this is going to be part of our raffle. I got some more prizes for the raffle, including some Christmas New York Jets holiday themed items. I'll be putting that together in a graphic so you guys can see that. Bob's computer may have just exploded, but a true Jet. Nick Mangold, baby. That's part of our giveaway. Again, I was able to purchase that jersey, or shirt, rather. And 100% of the proceeds from the shirt that I bought went to the National Kidney Foundation. So shout out to the Jets for putting that together. All right, let's do this, baby. We're going to open up the phone lines, and hopefully we'll have Bob here back on the program. But we'll see. Hep time out. More coming up here on the show.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Nice. Offense, offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Let's go!
There you go, the great Hep, bringing us back here. We still don't have Bob, so what I'm going to try to do is do my best Bob impersonations. Okay, wait a second here. Let's do this. I dropped a bunch of stuff, but we'll make it happen. Hey, everybody, I'm Bob Lederer. Look, I wrote this book. I don't know if you've heard before, Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. I'm Bob Lederer. I'm that guy. Guess what? I hope the Jets lose every game and get the #1 pick because they suck. Woo! Better draft picks. I'm Bob. All right, let's go to the phone line. Here's Hef.
Hey, hello, Mr. Lockwood. How are you today?
Oh, doing well. Oh, I got to get that one down, Pat, too. I got to get that one.
You gotta get. I think that's a good clip to have too. One of those little like when you have Bob do the jet thing. You gotta have. Gotta get.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I don't know why I never clipped that before. That's an excellent point. We'll have to get a fresh version of that.
Yeah, Mr. Lockwood. That's great, man.
Terrific.
I love that guy. Mr. Famous Fulton. He's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I understand Bob's point, because you say you play to win the game. I play to win a championship, and my window's closing. We're at the end. We're at the end of our. We've been suffering since 1969, so we know about suffering 2.0. I mean, we've been in it. We've been in the sauce for a long, long time. So that's why you have a lot of the older guys are like, nah, we play to win a championship, not meaningless games at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest with you, every time I watch the game, I root for them to win because I feel better when I lose during the week. I get like a sinking feeling going into the week, like they tagged another loss on my forehead. Yeah. But when I win, I got a little step. A little
pep in your step. There you go. Yeah.
when they lose, I kind of walk around my house like I'm in a stupor.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So why do you openly invite that, Bob? You're like, I'd prefer a loss this week. Why do you openly want to be stumbling around your house going, where am I? Like what? Come on.
Because
Bob.
as your father would say to you, your mother would say to you, it's good for you, son.
It's good. It's good for you. Hey, Bob, I was curious. What's it like to be in Chicago right now with the team playing as well as they are? Because I want to know for the Jets when it's going to happen for them. What's it feel like?
It gnaws at me because every week I'm going, okay, lose. I can't stand the enthusiasm, as Bob De Niro would say.
The city's going crazy.
Look, this is a Bears town.
Yeah.
They love the Cubs. They loved the Bulls when they were winning championships, and I was here. They loved the Blackhawks when they won 3 times in, I think it was 5 years.
And the Bulls
here. But this is a Bears town. And particularly this week when they play the Packers, if you think there's a competition between the Yankees and the Red Sox, forget about it. It can't hold a candle to the dislike between the Packers and the Bears fans.
Oh yeah, that's a hated rivalry for sure.
In fact, I was looking forward to Aaron Rodgers if he was going to play for Pittsburgh against the Bears, because the last time he was here, he was his last year with the Packers, and he scored a touchdown on a scramble. And as he reached over the goal line, he told the defender who was standing there, "I own you guys."
Oh,
what a ballsy bastard!
Yeah, so it is, in a way, it is exciting to see what's going on here. And if the Jets, when the Jets get to that position, because I think they will, I really do.
I think so too.
A couple of years, and I'm going to feel bad not being in New York and being part of it.
Well, you're kind of here.
Yeah.
Look, I will be a Jets fan no matter where I am. But
I understand.
But again, I've said this to you before, Hef. I saw them win in 1969, so I've seen them win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so, I saw the 69 Mets win. So 86 was wonderful.
It was great.
It wasn't 69. Especially
when playing well too. Everybody was doing good.
You're a kid, especially when you're a kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid.
It is so dramatically impressionable on you when your team when my son, I have two sons. The oldest one is a crazy Cub fan. And when he was 13 years old, I had to pick him up from his friend's house after the Bartman game. And he was in absolute agony.
Oh,
And I said to him, listen, your grandfather told you.
your grandfather. You know you're in trouble when your grandfather.
Yeah, his grandfather was born in 1924.
Oh
He
my God!
never saw the Cubs win a World Series.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, look, they will. I finally had to be my, a real dad. I said, look, they're going to win someday. I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but they're going to win. And when they won in 15, he was just out of his mind. He's moved out. He lives in New York now, but I still have these stacks upstairs of all the newspapers and magazines and such about the Cubs that year.
That's awesome.
And I have all that stuff about the Jets from 68 and 69. And I have newspapers from the day after the Kennedy assassination. I mean, it makes such an impression upon you when you're a younger person, when you're a teenager or even younger. Oh my God, my team won. I can't believe it. And I've said it here before as well. The week after the Jets won the Super Bowl, all my friends in high school came over to me, and most of them were Giant fans, and said, hey, you guys deserve to win on Sunday. You played great. Congratulations. And the euphoria, I was floating on air for a week.
Yeah.
That's going to happen to you, Paul.
I can't wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's just, you have to show some patience, whether it's football or baseball or any other team, that you watch. Because it generally speaking, it doesn't happen all in a year. I mean, it can be a miracle. That's what 6 was. Yeah. But generally, it takes some growth and it takes some maturity. And I see again, I am so pleased that what I said before the season began has come to fruition, that they have gotten better under Glenn. The individual performances, the lack of penalties last week, except on the last drive.
Yeah. There's a different vibe.
I mean, you've forgotten about it because then you realize after the game or when the penalties started to add up there late, I said, wow, they haven't had many penalties today. Aaron has really gotten through to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a big part of it. That and the team coming together and playing together and such. So it's a good feeling. But I still want that better draft pick. I'm sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, Hef. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence again. Beyond Broadway Joe, Bob Lederer wrote this book. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. The Super Bowl team, all caps, that changed football. Bob Lederer. It's right there. Join us every Friday.
Thank you. In fact, there's a couple of things I'm going to try to hype it, and we'll let you know about that. Thanks.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Well, let's go to the phone lines here. Up next, let's bring him on. Kyle Clifton here on the program.
Good morning, Kyle.
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Doing all right. No, I hear what have saying because I hear the clock ticking a little bit. I'm a little bit younger, but it's been almost 45 years of this nonsense, and
I get it.
Yeah. So, baby steps. How about hosting an AFC Championship game?
Ooh,
we've been on the road for 3 AFC Championship games in my life.
How about hosting any playoff game? We haven't done that in 23 years of hosting a single wild card, divisional, anything. I mean,
I left Miami out since I was so young, but
right.
So that's 4. A Super Bowl berth would be nice, right?
That'd be cool.
To get there would be nice.
Yeah, but if they just made the playoffs, although that would be a big achievement in recent lore.
Yeah.
I mean, how pleased would you be after that game? Let's say they lose that game. I mean, it's a step.
Well, that's what happened with the Bills, right? Their 17-year playoff drought ended. They make it. I think that was the Bills-Jaguars playoff game in Jacksonville, and they lost like 9-6 or some disgusting score. And then they went on all their success. So,
I don't want to give the wrong impression. I am greedy. I do want the brass.
Yeah,
I want it all, but I also understand that linear progression does not always happen.
No, it doesn't. You can just as easily be a playoff team one year and be in the basement.
100%. Yeah,
Washington Commanders last year, right? They
Look at that.
Yep. So, that they took a clear step back, and I think I was saying the other day that I think that the Patriots will be a regression candidate for next year.
I hope so.
Cupcake
I don't think they're going to go that far in the playoffs this year, to be honest with you. I just think they're on a
I
roll.
hope you guys are right.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about winning on Sunday or not winning on Sunday?
I think they'll be competitive.
No, like whether what you want. Do you want them to win or lose for the draft pick?
I want them to lose for the draft pick.
Come on, guys. What the hell?
High five, mate.
Yeah,
that's
it, man. I mean, we need a quarterback because it's a death spiral. It's a 45+ year death spiral. So how do you pull out of it? You get a quarterback. You need a trigger man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on one other thing before I go.
Yes, sir.
The center.
Yes. Yeah.
Bring back Josh Myers and bring in a guy in the middle rounds to compete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what you do. If you see a guy that you like, whether it's Allen's Iowa guy or another guy that kind of fits your system, maybe I don't think that they would prefer guys that are too light. Like I think one of the top rated guys is under 300 pounds. Just if you need to go up and get them, we have 12 picks this year.
Yeah.
So bring in a guy that can compete right away. And if he doesn't win the job right away, maybe 6, 7, 8 games in, he assumes a spot. Maybe next year the following year he assumes the spot. I think that's the way to do it with this team.
I think to interrupt you, I think one of the things that you can look for is that now that Aaron Glenn and Muji are there and they've established themselves, they know the kind of person that they want, not just physically and mentally, but what kind of a guy is this? Because I think there is a Glenn type player out there now that they have kind of molded, in an image that they go after.
Yep. And great loss last night for the Cowboys, which moved us up a little bit in the second round. So we're very excited about it.
Thank you,
Detroit.
Detroit. Hey, have you, before you go, Kyle, have you watched Fernando, and what do you think?
I watched the Penn State game.
Yes, I saw that one. Yep.
And he acquitted himself well. I watched a little bit more of Dante Moore, and that guy made a throw that I said, that's a pro throw. It was in a very tight window.
Were you a Dante guy?
Yeah.
Okay. And he lost his offensive coach.
Which it sounds like that could change his mind to enter the draft. There's some rumors about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy with I think it's 70+ completion percentage. Looks very polished, and it was one of the best college throws I've ever seen into a tight window.
Wow. Okay.
So,
he's only got 1 year of college experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at a guy that's the same thing with Ty Simpson, right?
Correct.
Ty Simpson was
was
set to be the processor, and now he's making a couple of mistakes over the last few weeks. Regressing a little bit, but he could use another year of seasoning. But if we don't trade up, I'm willing to take a chance on any of those guys as long as the regime is comfortable with them.
Of course, absolutely. As am I. Yeah.
Yeah. But if they trade up, they had better get it right.
Yeah.
So,
great. Have a great weekend, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate you joining us here on the program. There is Kyle Clifton. Again, phone lines are up. That is a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. Also, guys, make sure you take advantage of the free way to contribute to the show. That's by liking the video right now. We have 100 people that are currently watching on our YouTube channel, which thank you so much. I'm glad that any of you decide to take in any part of Boy Green Daily as part of your daily routine here on a beautiful Friday here on the very snowy Oswego. Here on December 5th. Very snowy, I can confirm. A lot of snow and a lot of cold. As Bob asked for my weather report before the show, it feels like -2 outside. So
I'm adding meteorologists to my list of professional capabilities.
Please do. That's quite impressive. A quite impressive slate. Again, we have 55 likes, but 100 people in the room. Like the video, folks. Please do. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. It's your weekly Friday Grubhub order. It's Philly Noodles.
What's going on, gentlemen? Good morning. Bob, I'm not going to lie. I'm very disappointed. And I expect Devin somehow from somewhere to call in because that is he is the crux to your slight empathy for the Jets. He comes in with overachieving happiness.
I want him to
Yeah,
lose.
that's wild. Yeah, that's a wild take.
Well, see, I'm very sorry that I shaved this morning for you guys. You would have seen the whiskers and everything. I would have said, look at the wisdom I picked up over the years.
Listen, Bob, I understand your take. Obviously, it's not to say like a few years back, the Trevor Lawrence, right? That's like the biggest take. We could have had Trevor Lawrence, but where would have that have put us? I mean, look where he's at right now. Now, not to say it's his fault entirely. Urban Meyer was just a terrible idea.
Right.
But, it's look how many years it's taken. So it don't matter which quarterback you're going to take. It's going to take some time anyway, still. On top of it.
You got to have the right. And again, we talked about this weeks ago when there was an article in the New York Times. You got to have the right guy to coach.
Yeah, the infrastructure, of course.
Yeah, and our offensive coordinator is going to have that responsibility. Now, he's done a good job this year, and I think he's gotten better as the team has gotten better because he obviously has improved the playbook, opened up the playbook as the capabilities on the field have improved and such. But
I mean,
it's going to be a big responsibility.
I mean, to sit there and say though, like the reason why they armed themselves with a war chest is that whatever question could arise after the season ends, they'll have an answer for. That's the whole point of why they did what they did. You don't trade elite assets to not be able to say we're going to do whatever we got to do and what we can do. So let's say they do finish 6 or 7, depending on how the draft board falls. Let's say Moore really does come out. You have 3 quarterbacks that could be taken towards the top end of the round, which is Simpson. So if you look at 7 teams there, we're one of them that need a QB. Maybe another one definitely needs a QB. Okay. The other 2 are a possibility. So now you're swinging with better odds no matter what. You might be able to sit there in place and say, you know what? Mendoza had a rough time in the playoffs, or he loses to Ohio State, takes a nick, and Simpson's supposed to be the better pro-ready guy, and Moore is the one that just looks really good. Mendoza might just fall at 7, literally just sitting there, honestly, because you got wide receivers that are top-tier level that are better than him. Mendoza is not better than Tyson as a wide receiver prospect.
The key point that's already been made today by you and Kyle is as long as the regime at running the Jets is comfortable with whoever they pick, because obviously they're not going to take any quarterback just because they need a quarterback.
Right. Hopefully not.
Buy into.
Yeah. So I
can't help but feel that Moji's sitting up in the box is watching and going, come on, we want to win. Oh, we lost. Well, okay, that's okay. That'll help.
It makes his job easier for sure.
Yeah, right. Maybe there's some rationalization, but also I imagine GMs are arrogant. They think no matter where they pick, they're going to figure it out because I'm good at my job. I don't think those people think they're bad at their job. So he doesn't even think about that sort of thing, I would imagine.
And then I feel like his guy is probably Allard at heart. Take a stab at that kid with a 4th-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. Take both of them. And you know what I mean? Because Justin Fields is not a long-term answer, and Tyrod's about to fall apart in age, naturally. So you know what I mean? It's not to say you start 2 rookies next year, but
so you're part of what I call the Joe Namath, John Ewart school. You know, the Jets drafted Namath and they drafted Heisman Trophy winner John Ewart the same year. Yeah, Werblin said he didn't care which one was the starter as long as one of them became a star.
And someone could win as well. It's all that really matters in the end. Now, my other take, again, I'm biased to the John Simpson situation, knowing that I know his cousin. I honestly think he's been the vocal guy this year, no matter if he's had a couple penalty issues throughout the season. Right. You can get him on a homer deal. There's no way you can't.
Ooh, and then,
and then, you don't bring back Myers unless you first can pay our boy out there, Linderbaum, that's available.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
I give him 22. I give him 22 mil a year. Give a shit. Who cares?
Wow.
Who cares?
Okay. Wow.
You need it. You need it fixed. You need it answered.
But you're going to have to give him a multi-year deal, and if you're paying $22 million a year, let's say for 3 years, that's a big chunk.
Yeah, they got a big chunk of money.
Yeah, each year.
They got a huge.
You can't just look at it this year. We have $75 million to spend. Well, yeah, but if you spend 22 this, it's going to be 22 next year, and the year after that, and they may not have as much cap room.
ABG.
Well,
let them know. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So
I'll let you go ahead. Okay.
The Jets currently have $100 million in cap space for this upcoming offseason. The next offseason, they have $205 million, and then it goes up from there. And the cap is increasing every year. So yeah, so right now, as it currently constructs, they got plenty of room for that made-up blender.
Hold on. The 100. I want to get this clarified again, as I did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
they have $100 million in cap space, but don't you have to deduct from that?
It's already deducted.
What they're going to have to pay Rodgers?
Yes,
what they're going to have to pay Justin Fields?
Already deducted.
That's already deducted.
Well, I can't say the Justin Fields one because that hasn't happened yet. So that part isn't. But obviously, everything that pre-exists, Rodgers, I'm trying to think of it, CJ Mosley, anyone else that I'm not thinking of right now that's part of that dead money is factored into the current $100 million they're projected to have available. Yes.
So
I feel more comfortable.
So Bob, to that point, and real quick, I'll get off. Think about the moves we've made. When you go to get a rookie QB, if it pans out or not, that's cheap. 2 tight end bookend tackles are cheap right now. Our wide receiver core, we already paid for Wilson. The other 2 guys, Mechie would be cheap on a deal back, and you already got
and they're going to draft one, and he'll be cheap too.
You got Taylor, cheap. How about the defensive side? Stevens locked in 3 years, cheap.
Jarvis Brownlee.
Brownlee, still cheap.
Yep.
Briggs, bring it back, cheap. What's his name? Phillips already signed. It's cheap. Like, we can't even continue to say how cheap it is already. You're going Linderbaum. I'll give you a blank check if he's gonna, blank check 25. Even 25.
Wow.
24.
I bet he hopes you're his agent. I mean, Jesus, you're
come on.
I'd like to work for you, Philly.
Yeah.
Hey, with that amount of money, oh man, listen, look what they gave Sherwood. Oh my God, I would think about it that way. Would you want a Pro Bowl center or Sherwood at that price?
Well,
there you go. Answer.
Both.
And you got to sign Jermaine. I forget about that, but just give him a blank check. No,
and Tippmann too. So Tippmann is Tippmann has one more after the season's over. He has one more year left in his deal.
Frankly, I don't want to see him let Quincy go so easily either.
Yeah. I mean, you can still sign everybody. There's no way you can't. Period. End of story. So
okay,
they got the money. Philly
from your mouth to God's ear.
Hell yeah, Moogie's ears. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That's it. Unbelievable. All right, we got a lot of people are waiting to call into the show, so let's keep going in order. Up next, it's your guy, EZ.
Mike Vault, $22 million for a center. What is he out of his freaking bird?
Yeah, because for people who don't know, the highest paid center in football right now is $18 million. He's got a 22, 25. Whoa, what the hell? That's a little aggressive.
Come on, EZ. It's not your money.
But crazy is crazy. Hey, besides, if you saw my super chat, he didn't mention it yet. We have to teach Boy Green how to speak proper Yiddish.
Yes. Yeah, can we get into that immediately? Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to that super chat here.
Watch this.
Wow.
But what's the word? What's the word you want to teach him? Oy vey?
Well, no, I'm talking.
Chutzpah?
He doesn't know how to pronounce the CH sound in Hebrew. Like he goes,
actually, his chutzpah is pretty good.
Oh,
yeah, but he says tuchus instead of tuchus.
Oh, tuchus.
Well, okay. He doesn't. He's not far now.
Tuchus. Bob, pronounce it.
Tuchus.
Yes.
Oh, I hear it. It's in the back end there. I see.
Okay. What other? You got to extend it.
Okay.
It's a Middle Eastern sound. Hebrew and Arabic both have that choking sound.
Excuse the Hebrew lesson, but it's like my grandson had to teach me. It's not Baruch, it's Baruch.
Yes, Baruch Atah Adonai, which means blessed be God or something like that.
Okay, there we go. So is there any other ones? Any other go-tos? Yeah, I'm a big chutzpah guy.
Oy vey. Oy vey is a big one.
Oh, oy vey.
Teach him. Explain to him what a mensch is.
What's a mensch?
Kind of told him.
Yeah, what's that? What's a mensch?
A mensch is a stand-up guy.
Oh,
like he's a good fella.
Yeah, somebody who does not a good fellow in an Italian way.
Yeah, but he does the right thing.
He does the right thing.
Okay, because I'm going to be honest. My initial just hearing mensch, it does not sound good. But go ahead.
During the trade negotiations, Quinnen Williams was being a mensch. He didn't act and stomp his feet and cry like a baby. Whereas, Jamal Adams was
Oh.
not a mensch.
So he's not a mensch. What's the word then for Jamal?
What's the bad word?
Yeah, what's the bad word for that? What's that called?
Well, and nicely you could say schmagegi or something, but
Oh,
schmuck.
schmagegi. Schmuck. Okay, all right. Schmuck.
Do you know what a schmuck is?
I'll tell you what
schmuck is the discarded piece of foreskin.
Oh, okay. That's
so when you're calling someone a schmuck, that's pretty. That's you're calling him a wasted piece of a dick.
Wow. Okay, that is very vivid. Bob, go ahead.
I'll give you what a mensch is. Very self-serving.
Okay.
My wife and I went out for lunch a week ago, and a gust of wind as I opened my door.
Okay.
And it scraped the car next to me.
Oof.
And it clearly made damage.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I went, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I wrote the guy a note, gave him my information.
Okay.
Put it under his windshield. The guy calls me up a week later and says, I got to tell you, I was so impressed. Nobody does something like that. Everybody, has that happen, and they just go, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to pay thousands of dollars to repair. And I told the guy, and this is, I'm not this wonderful a guy, but I said, listen, I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Wow.
If that happened to me, if somebody scratched and it was a new car too.
Oh,
he said to me, you know what? I bought one of those over-the-counter fillers.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked. And I said, well, thank God for that. So I'm really glad.
Oh, so he didn't call your insurance? He didn't take you up on it?
Nope. That's a mensch.
Oh, I see. So you're okay. Thank you for that.
You both did the right thing, so he gave you the pass.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I guess that's how it works.
That's why it always pays. It always pays to do the right thing. Getting back to football, because that's why we're here.
We should make this a weekly update for Boy Green to give him the new. I'll come up with a list of words, and you do the same, and we'll see what we come up with next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I would have left my information. I think I would have been
actually. I have a word for Bob for his wanting the Jets to lose.
Oh God. Okay, here we go.
Zagunished.
Ooh, what is that?
Yeah, what's that?
Means enough.
Oh yeah, enough. Come on.
Zagunished.
Enough. What about
enough with the wanting them to lose?
What about Canuck?
I don't want them to lose. Okay, here's the thing. I do not want them to lose. If they lose, so be it. It's good for the draft pick. But I've been rooting, for the last 14 years. There have been at least 6 of those years where I've been rooting for them to lose for the draft pick. Yeah. And I've come to the conclusion the number one pick ain't worth shit because only 14 number one overall picks have ever made it to the Hall of Fame. We went through this.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Only 14 number one picks, overall picks, the first pick in the draft. 14 have made it to the Hall of Fame. All the rest, bupkis. Oh, that's another word, bupkis.
Okay, I'll work that one in.
Didn't he play for the Bears?
Who?
Bupkis.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's a buttkis.
It's long lost brother. Yes.
Oh, you're right. And to accentuate your point, the first pick ever in the first NFL draft was the Heisman Trophy winner, and he didn't even sign. Wow. He didn't even play pro football. He decided not to play.
Okay, wow.
So here's the thing. If you look at some of the best quarterbacks that have ever played the game, and you know who I include one of the better quarterbacks that's played the game, Kenny O'Brien. I include him.
I thought he was
good.
He
had some great numbers. Some of the most entertaining games that I ever watched in my youth were the Dolphins and the Jets with Marino versus O'Brien.
Wesley Walker, 4 touchdowns.
They had some epic 50-50 games and 45-45 games. They were just some of the most entertaining things I had ever seen in my life. They were great. And that's why, even though I hate the Patriots for Spygate and all that shit, I would have to say my favorite hatred team has got to be the Dolphins.
I agree. Yeah, there you go. Actually, it's Patriots, but yeah.
And the NFL should have done something. And I know they didn't do it back then and they do it now. But when the Dolphins left that field uncovered for that AFC Championship game,
1984,
they should have postponed that game. They should have done something and said, this is unacceptable. They should have. Because they clearly gave themselves an unfair advantage because every player on the Dolphins team knew what was going to happen. So they were mentally prepared for that game.
But the Jets also had a big speed advantage and quickness advantage, which got negated.
Oh, yeah, we had good wide receivers. We had great running backs. I mean,
and we had the wrong footwear for that game too because of what happened.
What were the Dolphins wearing cleats that were like 2 inches long and back then they didn't have the shoes where you could screw in the cleats. Well, maybe they did. Probably the pros had that. But you saw guys either slipping. It was just so unfair, and the league should have said something about that.
That was it was the most disappointing days of my life because I really thought if they can get to the Super Bowl and they would have played Washington, and I think they would have beaten Washington.
Oh, they would have spanked them. And where were you, BG?
No, I just my camera having issues.
Did you hear what we were talking about?
100%. I'm right here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know that will never happen again because the NFL would never allow it.
Well, no, they have control.
But what they did,
they do have control of the fields, right? No, yeah. So
that was definitely what I'd consider unsportsmanlike.
I agree.
Was it cagey and brilliant? Yes, but just because you're a genius doesn't mean it's not evil.
At the very least, because it was so obvious that it had been intentional, they should have taken some draft picks away from them.
Right, or moved it to a neutral site or something. I don't know, unbecoming.
Well, they could have suspended Shula.
Not play the game. I mean,
they could have suspended Shula for the first 4 games of the following year. There should have been something disciplinary done so that shit wouldn't happen again ever. But the NFL stepped in and made sure it won't ever happen again. But of course, guess who it happened to?
The Jets.
Jets.
Naturally. Easy, I have to tell you, thank you for the vernacular lesson. And apparently you and Bob are going to make this a weekly bit. So I'm looking forward to next week's spelling bee and everything else.
Have a good Shabbos.
You too. Good Shabbos.
There you go. Wow. All right. Easy. Wow. That's something I didn't have on my bingo card this morning, but well, blessed be he.
Wait till the line shows up, then you'll really hear something.
Oh boy, I don't know if he showed up here. I think he's at an airport at some point. So we may not get an Alon sighting today, but that would have been something. All right, let's keep going down this conga line here. Ricky, New York Live joins us here on the program.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Okay,
good. How about you?
Okay, not bad. Uneventful morning this morning. All right. Compared to the rest of the week. So, but I'll take it,
sure.
Nice and relaxing. Listen, this quarterback debate is going to rage on until we pick a guy. Everybody's got their guys that they like. I'm of the opinion, win as many games as you can, and we've got the ammo. We can still get a guy, regardless of where we end up landing. But the offensive line debate, now everybody's going to say, "Oh, we need to get Linderbaum." Let me tell you what. I've seen fans of at least 4 other teams this week saying the same thing. Like, we're not the only people that are thinking that. But there's something weird there where, like, I think when they declined his 5th-year option, it pissed him off. And and now they're not on the same page at all. I heard yesterday that they are very far apart in any kind of talks.
Excellent.
And it's looking more and more likely that he will become a free agent.
Perfect.
But the even though offensive line in general isn't real strong in this class, there's a couple of tackles that are pretty good. There's a couple of guards that are really good, but only a couple. But there's like a half a dozen centers that are decent that we can get. You got Connor Lew, who was probably the consensus top center, but he tore his ACL. So, which, I mean, that's not a career ender or anything, and but it could cause him to fall in the draft. So you might be able to get him
at a senior.
I'm sorry, was it?
A junior or a senior?
He's a junior, I believe.
Okay, so I mean, you might be able to get him in the 3rd or the 4th round because of the injury.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Is he may end up falling a bit. There's the kid from Alabama. There's Slaughter from Florida. There's Luke Pettibon from Florida State, who I like quite a bit. But and then Logan Jones from Iowa, who Alan likes a lot. But he's a bit older. And, Aaron Glenn has said so many times, it's a young man's game. And you look at the guys that he's bringing in, I don't see them going after an older prospect. But the guy that I really like, Iapani Lololu, the center from Oregon.
God bless you.
Yes. You know what? Football is so awesome. We wouldn't be able to pronounce names like Iapani Lololu or Osi Umanura or
Sure.
Olu
Muiwa Fashanu, right? Here, I never get to play this. I never get to play this clip, so here's his mom.
His full name is Olu Muiwa Fashanu. And Olu Muiwa means the Lord has brought us this.
Thank the Lord. But
nice. Nice. Foley Fatukasi.
Oh, that's another good one for sure. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are some interesting names in football. That's for sure.
TJ Hushmanzada. Yeah. Who's your mama? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I you know what I like TJ.
This guy. Yeah.
I was a big fan of Chris Henry too before he passed. Like that kid had some real potential.
And his son, Chris Henry Jr., right? He's the one floating college or the high school about to go to the college ranks. I think Pac-Man has been sort of mentoring him as a father figure. So salute.
Oh goodness.
Well, I don't know. Maybe things not to do, perhaps, but I do believe Pac-Man is his godfather or something. So he's been I think he's allowed him in his home. So
yeah, Pac-Man was a great corner. He was an idiot off the field. My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of players, all in the family, whatever. Guess who's coming to Florida State? Jonah Winston, younger brother of Jameis.
Oh boy! So, wow! Congratulations.
We're getting a.
That Jameis Winston's younger brother, he said?
Yeah, Jonah. Yeah. Oh, we just lost Ricky, so I don't know what happened there with Ricky, but what an interesting, not on purpose mic drop that Jonah Winston is coming. Let me give him another shot. Ricky, beep. Ricky. That's too bad. The old Wi-Fi. That can get you. But thank you for the Jonah Winston shout out, Ricky New York Live. And again, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel, Ricky New York Live. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We have a freshly coiffed Uncle Indy. Look at this. What's that? A clean shave going on there? What's going on there, Indy?
Well, I'm just trying to be as much BG-ish as I can.
It's very in right now, from what I hear. Very in. Yes.
Yeah, I have to say, I've been on here since Philly got on here, and Philly and I are meeting up for the IU Ohio State game.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Good for you guys. And we're going to watch that. And since he's so, as Dave Brigger says, willy-nilly with the money, he's covering the bar tab. That
only makes sense based on those
18 million, 25 million. I don't care. He just wants to spend the money. You know what, Philly? You got the bar tab. Yeah. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, Indy. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Now, I'm a little disappointed in you, Bob. You're sitting here rooting for the Jets to lose. Come on now. You're better than that. You are better than that, I believe. You're
probably right. I should just not openly want them to lose, but be happy when they do lose.
Or just rationalize it. That's what I do. Again, I'm not saying everyone has to do what I do, but this is how I do it. I root for the team like crazy, and then they win. I feel that little pep in my step. If they lose, I'm like, all right. well, okay, guys, don't worry. We're from the 7th pick to the 5th pick. And then you just sort of like convince yourself that it's okay, because like we can't control the result. So you say like, oh boy, I really hope this Jets player breaks his leg. I really hope this guy fumbles,
To me, it's like getting a flat tire, putting on the spare. Now, if you don't really care and you just want to keep going, well, you don't replace the spare. You just keep driving on.
Yeah, no, sure, I got it. Yeah.
Or you do the smart thing and you get the spare off and you get a new tire, so you're not going to have a long-term problem. And that's what I think is going on when you're drafting 7th or 8th or 9th instead of 3rd or 4th.
Well, in that case, Bob, we've drafted a quarterback in the 2nd round. We drafted a quarterback in the 5th round. So how's that worked out?
Well, it hasn't.
Right. Exactly. So there is no guarantee. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to root for the team to lose just for a chance of a quarterback. The same chance is there at, if Ohio State comes out and just absolutely pummels IU, Mendoza's stock's going to drop a little bit.
Yeah.
And no matter who we draft as quarterback, do you want them to start at the season?
Oh, no.
Absolutely not. So no matter who the quarterback is, I don't want them to see the field, probably not till 27.
Yeah.
And so
to me, the draft and who they get mostly more than anything else comes down to who are you giving the responsibility to and how good a job can they do. And
right,
a lot of the regimes they've had that have picked the quarterbacks, hey, Joe Douglas, the biggest mistake he made was who he picked with the 2nd pick. And yet I remember calling into an NFL show on Sirius. And I said to them, this is a week before the draft, and these are 2 draft experts. I said, Zach is just not ready to be an NFL quarterback. I don't know if he ever will be. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, he's not playing real competition. And I don't care if he can throw the ball 90 yards in the air. You have to be able to read a defense, come to the line of scrimmage, make the right calls, not freak out with the pass rush and everything else. And I had watched one game, the bowl game that he had played, and he had no pressure the entire game and such. So, I'm going too long, but I thought Joe Douglas's big mistake. And I don't recall, there was a better quarterback as it turned out. He's playing for Buffalo now, but everybody was questioning, who to pick. In fact, they might have picked the guy who Cleveland took with the 1st pick as it was, if he was still there. So it all comes down to, do you trust the guy? And a month ago we were all saying, can we really trust Aaron Glenn and Muji, to make that kind of a decision? Well, I feel a lot more comfortable now making that kind of decision through them than I did then.
But it's funny, BG, at the beginning of the season, we all were pretty sure that this was Aaron Glenn's team, right? I mean, he's making every decision. But how is Muji getting all the praise now? If this is still Aaron Glenn's team, and Aaron Glenn just tells Darren, say, go get me this player, or this player is tradable. Go get me what you can for Sauce Gardner. How is Muji getting all this credit when the first 8 games of the season we've all determined this is strictly an AG team, and almost Muji works for AG?
Yeah, I don't know 100% that this is it, but my vision of it is that Aaron Glenn has final approval. So things come across his desk, and AG goes, yes, no, this, and maybe it's not just black and white. I'm sure they work together a little bit more closely than that level of distinction. But like, I would give credit for. I'm sure they talk about, Aaron's like, boy, we need some receivers. Muji's like, well, let me go scour the market. And he finds the Adonai Mitchell as part of another trade, or the John Mechie. So I'm sure he gets credit for some of that. It's also the marriage of it, though, that the coach is figuring out how these janky pieces work in their puzzle And so AG deserves credit for Adonai Mitchell. Jawan Briggs is another one. But I think Muji deserves some credit for identifying some of these opportunities. I don't think he's just a pencil pusher up there. I think he is actively making some of those curiosity.
Really, I think that Muji is the guy who might not make necessarily the final decision, but he's the guy that is finding the Mitchells and the Mechis and the Briggs and such. The only moves he's made that have not made a discernible difference with the three guys he picked up on waivers, at the cut deadline.
But and see, I think it's the other way around. I think AG says, "Look, I see what whether it's AD Mitchell or whatever. Get AD Mitchell. If we're trading Sauce, I want this player." And then
I don't think during the
Bob, you just said exactly what I was going to say. How does he possibly have the time to do game plans on a week-to-week basis and also have the knowledge of every other roster that, hey, that AD Mitchell guy who's currently the 5th receiver in Indy, he's the guy to get. I think you're giving a little, again, I think we have thrown too much crap at AG, and he's been getting, but that's sort of like the quarterback. They get all the credit, all the blame. But I think you have to give a little bit more credence to Muji, because exactly what Bob said is what I was going to say. There's no way that Glenn has that level of time to say, hey, that AD guy, hey, Jawan Briggs, the 4th defensive tackle on Cleveland. That's got to be Muji and his personnel and scouting staff.
I think that Glenn might have had a big say in Mitchell.
Because right, and here's why, BG. What was Aaron Glenn? Was Aaron Glenn not a deep part of the scouting? Yeah, okay. So he's also very
coaching responsibilities. That's a lot from weekly.
What I'm saying is that he's very tight with his scouting department. And when maybe one of his scouts says, "Look, I need you to go look. I want you to take a few minutes to go look at this guy. If you're going to be, they're not Colts aren't using him, and we could use him." So AG probably goes and takes a look at him, goes to Muji and says, "I don't know what it's going to take if we're going to trade Sauce, but get this guy thrown into the draft." And Muji's the business end of it. Here's the dollars and cents. Here's the I think AG makes that final call to say, "I want that player in this draft," and you go figure it out.
I would be surprised if Glenn told Muji when they made the deal with Philadelphia, "Hey, get that kid Mechie as part of the deal. We want to get rid of the contract. We want to get rid of the player, but see if you can get Mechie. We need a wide receiver." And literally like 2 weeks later, because it's been already reported that they would have not made the deal with Sauce if Mitchell wasn't part of the deal.
Yeah,
right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if at that point that he and Muji got their heads together and they said, "Hey, they got extra wide receivers there," because everybody knew they had extra wide receivers there.
Correct.
Can we get that? Can we get that Mitchell kid?
And that's where I said I think AG is making the player choice and then putting it on Muji to say, "Go make it happen now." I don't believe Muji would drop AD Mitchell in AG's lap without any kind of discussion.
I'm sure they work together, but it's Muji's job to find players. No,
that's not his job at all. That's not the general manager's job at all. His job is the business end of it, not to go find the players.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't believe that the general manager is the one out scouting the players. If a head coach says, "I want this kind of player here," or I want AD Mitchell there, then now it's your job to go make it happen.
Have either of you guys seen the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner?
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
But so the scene I'm going to bring up happened in like 30 seconds. But I imagine in a real life NFL situation, it's a lot more expanded than that. In the fast forward to the end of the movie, they're making a trade. And they're about to crack the trade, and he puts the big phone that they're on a speakerphone on mute, and he asks the rest of the room, "What do we need? What do we need?" They're looking for an extra piece to get added into this trade. And people are talking, wide receiver, pass rusher, get this guy. And then someone yells, "Putney, get Putney. Oh, we need a returner." And they're like, "All right, unmute Putney." And then they all freak out. Where did Putney come from? It doesn't matter where it came from. Give it to me. I think that when Colts kept showing more interest in Sauce, we want him. I think all of a sudden they mute it, and AG and Muji are like, "Well, let's scour this roster." is there someone we can grab that could benefit us and we could get from them? And I think that draft they seen that really took place in 30 seconds of the movie, I think took place over a course of a couple of days as Muji, Aaron Glenn, their staff, their pro personnel staff, their scouting staff, comb that Colts roster and said, is there anyone that's worth, let's twist the knife one more piece. Colts obviously want Sauce Gardner pretty bad. If we ask for one more piece, they're not going to cancel the deal. So let's push. Let's be aggressive. And I think that's where
Indianapolis's offer kept going up and up and up.
Right. So if I'm the Jets, I'm like, oh, baby, they're going to do whatever it takes to get this deal done.
And contrast that with the trade with Dallas, where they said, take the defensive tackle, please.
Right. That's sort of, I believe that's how that happened.
But this dynamic is a little bit different with AG and Muji over, say, Joe Douglas and Saleh. If Joe Douglas wanted a player, he would go get the player and say, here, I got you this. Where I still think that AG is the mastermind of all this, and your job and Muji's job is to say, okay, now go complete this deal. I don't care how you do it, but just go get me this player, because there's no way Muji's going to hand a player over to, or come up with the idea and say, hey, I think you need this, because you're not going to tell AG you need this.
BG has talked several times already this season about a list that every team has.
And who made the list? Muji or AG?
I'm sure it's probably done Muji and Glenn, but mostly it's Muji who keeps track of these guys as the year goes on. Because again, there's no way that Glenn has enough hours in a day to be the head coach and what amounts to the head of scouting in order to do the job correctly. So I think. Look, I give Glenn a lot of credit for the coaching and everything else and how much the players have improved and how he has taken Mitchell, how he's taken Mechie, how he's taken Briggs, how he's taken the other guys that they have picked up and rounded them out and made them better players and made them fit the system, which is really what his job is.
And I'm not knocking on Muji. I'm just this Jets this dynamic that we have between the coach and the GM is a little bit different than what we've. It's kind of when the Parcells days or the Rex Ryan days, when Rex Ryan said, I want this, and this is what he would go get. He was the one that was in control. It wasn't the general manager that was necessarily in control of it. And we haven't had that in a while. We've had the general managers. And so AG is kind of in that Parcells. It's going to be my way. It's going Rex Ryan was like that. It was going to be my way. Even if Rex wanted Vernon Golston, that's what he got.
But it was Rex and Tannenbaum, and everybody linked them together. What I haven't heard, what builds a stronger case for what you're saying, is that when you watch the telecasts, the broadcasters are saying, Glenn did this, Glenn did this, Glenn did this. Look at what he's done with Mitchell. Look at what's happened with Mechie. Look at how Briggs has improved and such. So he's getting all the credit, and you never hear the word Muji at all.
Well, I don't know. I've been hearing everybody talk about how great all these trades that Muji is making. But my point is if he's just being directed to go make these trades, who's the one that's actually initiating the trades is the one that should get the majority of the credit. And I think AG is doing a great job.
I guarantee you Muji is the one who's initiating the trades.
Yeah, I just don't think that Aaron Glenn is I think, it's not I think. Aaron Glenn was hired first. He clearly he wears the pants.
Exactly.
That's true. But I don't think Aaron Glenn is sitting at a table, hey, Muji, I need a receiver. I need you to go take care of that for me. I don't, that's not how I see. I don't see him sitting on this big desk, Bear Bryant style in the Alabama office, and people are cowering to him and coming up.
I don't think it's that.
Mr. Glenn, sir, can I get you something? Do you need some coffee? Do you need some tea? I think Muji's doing a little bit more than that. I think AG is the guy who has his hand in all the things. Everything that happens has to come through him. Of being discussed. He's not getting surprised. I don't think Muji traded for Mitchell and says, hey, AG, here's this Mitchell guy. And AG's like, who the hell is this? I don't think that's happening. But I do think Muji deserves a little bit more credit.
I know. I'm not saying Muji doesn't deserve the credit. He shouldn't get all this credit because we all agreed this is an AG team. So, when a player is transferred over here, whether via trade or whatever, that's a final decision of AG, not a Muji final decision. Where before, with the previous general managers, they kind of just, prior to Rex, I mean, Rex is probably the last coach we've had that had enough kahunas to say, this is what we're going to do, and that now go do it. Todd Bowles wasn't like that. Obviously Adam Gase was such a wonderful coach. But AG is I'm a huge AG fan now. I mean, I was glad that was the hire that we got. And it's going to take some time. We're starting to see that now. One last thing, BG, you and Woody were on yesterday, and you had your Miami Dolphins.
Oh my God, Brian Miller. Yes, he's covered this
yeah,
game for
and I hope that when the Jets beat Miami, and he said he would be back on, next week, that you take callers in. This guy's sitting there talking about how bad Garrett Wilson is.
Yeah.
Not even
playing on Sunday,
not a top 20, maybe not even a top 30 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, crazy talk.
Yeah, so I hope that he comes back in, and you don't normally take calls on Woody, right, but at least take a few calls so the rest of us can just
throw things at him.
Yeah, exactly. But Bob, it's always a pleasure to see you. I hope you stay warm up there in Chicago, and BG, you're getting buried in snow, and it's 50 degrees here in South Carolina. So,
it's good to know. Thank you. Thank you, Indy, for that.
Indy, have a good one.
Yeah. The one thing, and again, I like all different opinions, so I'm sure we're going to get that here throughout. I will highlight what some people are saying on here. Nate says, sounds like a baseless stretch to discredit Muji with minimal knowledge of what's going on in One Jets Drive. Yeah, I just, with all due respect, and again, the fact that we're fighting over credit of a 3-9 team is sort of interesting, but nonetheless, I think that both have done well. I don't see it as some pissing match. Oh man, AG deserves more of this credit. No, Muji deserves. How about both get credit? I don't know. I think AG is doing a wonderful job. The players are fighting for him. I think Muji's done some savvy moves. I think Jawan Briggs, Jarvis Brownlee start going through all these guys. I just agree with you, Bob. There is no way Aaron Glenn is a father, an NFL head coach, the PR, all the crap that we don't even know about the head coach have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. He would also additionally have enough time to have a fully vetted knowledge of every 53-man roster in the National Football League. Well, again, I'm not trying to discredit his scouting abilities and thing. What I am discrediting is time. We all have the same amount of time. It's what we do with it. And there's a lot of other people besides Aaron Glenn that's working at the Jets office. And their jobs are to be scouring these rosters and having this information to have these conversations with AG, Muji, and others. So, yeah, I do think that's some of that discussion there was a little intense.
And I'm sure that the two of them are getting their heads together in meetings during the course of a day, several times a day, just to check in and see what's going on. Because, for instance, Muji needs to know if there's an injury.
Of course. And then to go to that emergency list we talked about. Yeah,
exactly. So, or if somebody is questionable, because he's the one, I'm sure, that has to file the paperwork every week as to who's playing, who's eligible, and who's not eligible and such. So it's, they're working together, and let's just be happy that right now they appear to be working together, in a very positive way.
Which is great to hear. Here's one of your favorites, Bill Ameley, baby.
Bob.
Hello, Bill.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
The Jets are going to lose?
Yeah, come on, man.
No, I got
21
2 words.
21-20, Bill.
2 words, man. Winning streak, okay? The Jets are going to end up 8-9. That's it. BG did not sacrifice his beard for us to lose out.
I did not.
He did it for us to win out, okay?
I did do that.
Exactly. We are going to win out.
Good
I'm
luck.
telling you.
Good luck with Marcus Mariota as your quarterback for the next 3 years.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that the Jets QB will fall right into their hands.
Beautiful.
The first round, they don't have to trade up for anything. Because if all the teams believe in all the negativity that the fans and the media have about this quarterback class, then the quarterback is just going to drop into their lap.
You're talking as if God is on the Jets' side for once, and he's just going to drop that quarterback right in our lap.
I don't know. I think the football gods and the God are two different things, but that's another story. Yeah, I don't think the true God would torture all of us like this on purpose. All right,
That'd be a sick sense of humor. That would be a very sick sense of humor.
That's it. Especially with all the other crazy things going on around the world. I don't think deciding which fans should have the best football teams is not among his list there.
You don't? Okay.
And of course, after we went out, Alan can call in and say that each of the opposing coaches should be fired for losing to the Jets.
That's right. I love that bit on a week-to-week basis. Raheem Morris should be clearly be fired. Kevin Stefanski. Oh, what a total disaster.
Well, Bill, I'm sorry that I'm letting you down and letting
you're great fans now.
Down and whatever, but
let's just say you surprised us.
I want to see something like this again. So what?
Me too.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
And finally I want to hear the word dynasty actually spoken about the Jets for a change.
You really are getting on the train.
So of course, if Alan comes on and says delusional, I have one word for him. Yes.
I'll take it. Bill, I love it.
Happily delusional. After all, why in the world will we follow the team for as long as we have if there wasn't always that part of us, the positive side that says, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah,
because I don't think
that every day.
Yeah, I don't think any Jet fan wants to live with this thing. I can't wait for the next loss. This will be great.
That's sick. It's sick. So Bob needs help, and we'll try to get him that help.
Yeah, and thanks for that Hebrew lesson, UNEZ.
Yes. Apparently, it's a new weekly bit. So
a staple of Fridays would be.
That'll be interesting.
My only request is moving forward, less dick. If we can remove some of that, I'd appreciate it.
Soon we'll have kosher menus talked about and
perhaps.
stuff.
Okay,
that should be interesting.
Yeah, very progressive. We can only see. Bill, you're the best, baby. Appreciate you. Great to have Bill on the program there. I see we got a super chat coming in to explain what just happened with Ricky New York Live. Appreciate the super chat, pal.
Wow.
Ricky New York Live says, BG, the wife restarted the router and booted me. Sorry. Jesus, Ricky, what'd you do to your wife that she just pulled the plug from the wall and said, enough's enough, buddy boy? So I have no idea. Hopefully, the fact that you were able to send in the super chat means you survived whatever her wrath was. So that's good to hear, Ricky. Any marital advice, Bob?
Well, I'd be the last person to give good marital advice.
Okay, well, nonetheless.
If Mrs. Lederer were here, she would document that.
Although the fact that you guys are still together, how long have you guys been an item here, Bob Lederer?
39 years.
So you have to have learned something during that pocket of time,
but I
right?
keep saying we're doing something right.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what the math is on that, but I would imagine that's got to be a very, very positive sign here. So Ricky, keep fighting the good fight, buddy. Keep fighting the good fight. That's all I can say.
And get the router away from your wife.
Yeah, 100%. Lock that in another room, perhaps. I don't know how that'll work, but that is something I would suggest. By the way, Ricky, you're $1 away from a raffle ticket for our contest. Hopefully, at some point, you can get that if your wife doesn't take that away from you, too. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, back to the phone lines. It's your guy, Carl, man with the jet tattoo. What's up, buddy?
Carl, good morning.
Hey, hang on a second.
Okay. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, he looks like he's outside.
What would you like to sing, Paul, while we wait for him?
Yeah, let's see. Any other Yiddish words you know?
What other Yiddish word? That's more my wife's game than mine.
Okay. Okay, so take some notes. Go out to lunch with her and get a notebook and write down apparently anything on the need to know list. I don't know how long that list is, but let me know.
Well, when I'm sitting in synagogue every Saturday morning, and the rabbi starts talking about this and about this.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
we got him back. Yeah, wow! Look at that winter wonderland. Let me blow this up. Wow.
Yeah, I'm in Virginia here at the Winter Wonderland. This is a little unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this time of year. Hey, listen, this whole thing about who's making decisions for the Jets.
Yeah.
Does anybody really care as long as it works?
Yeah, that's
I don't care if the equipment manager's making decisions. as long as it works, right?
Yeah, amen.
It shouldn't even concern us.
That was funny.
Why are we concerned about who's making decisions?
It's a good point. So why does it matter?
Right?
As
I
long
mean,
as it's
seriously,
working.
I don't think Aaron Glenn is a type of coach that doesn't take into consideration everybody's opinion.
Right.
He doesn't seem like that type of guy. I think he's got enough experience in the NFL to know how it works. And I also think that, I think Muji's doing a good job. Whether he's making all the decisions, 50%, 100%, collaboration, as long as it works, we should be good with it, right?
100%. That's how I feel.
But, we need something to talk about right now, so we have to talk about that.
I guess that's why.
I think based on the way Aaron, deals with the press and how irritable he seems to be sometimes, I think he's a bit of a control freak, but that's okay.
Could be. There's nothing wrong with that.
As long as the product on the field, is a positive one, I don't really care what he is like.
That's exactly right. We really don't know what goes on in the internal workings of that organization. We assume a lot. I think we can assume a lot about Woody Johnson and probably be right. But I think other than that, I think we just don't know, and we want to speculate, and we want to think we know what's going on, but we don't know what's going on. And you know what? I don't care what's going on.
There you go.
How's that? I don't care. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how much money they spend. I don't care if somebody gets their feelings hurt. I just want to see a good football game. Period. That's it. And I think they're going in that direction.
Amen. Well, I love this. The Winter Wonderland look. This is crazy, Carl. This is wild. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. We usually this time of year, I'm in Southwest Virginia, but
how much snow do you guys have right now?
Excuse me?
How much snow do you guys have right now?
We've only got about 3. It's only about 3 inches.
Okay. Wow.
I kind of live in the woods. I kind of live in the woods, so it looks like a lot more,
Yeah, for sure.
But it's nice, and hopefully it'll be gone by tomorrow. Maybe at least the driveway and the road will be cleared up a little bit. It's nothing like you guys get.
Well,
in that in upstate New York, up in the Canadian wilderness where you live up there.
A quick question, Carl. You said hopefully, the roads sort of get paved there, so it'll be cleared up. Do you care who gets a credit for that? Was it Mother Nature clearing the road? Is it the snow plow people? I just want to make sure proper credit is given.
Well, I give some credit to the meteorologists on the news.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
They get some credit.
Yeah.
Our snow plow guys. I don't know if we're going to get a snow plow. We'll probably just get salt.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with salt.
I live in a town
pepper, but yeah.
I live in a town called Skokie.
Skokie.
Yeah.
And we got the storm that BG got. We got
the nor'easter.
Last Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning.
Uh-huh.
And I saw the snow plow go through the street in front of our house on Sunday, and he stopped on the corner and he just dropped some dirt on the snow. And we found out later that afternoon, Skokie ran out of salt. How could they run out
dirt's
of
good.
snowball?
Yeah, Bob, I'll tell you something. They use so much. I live on a really windy road, and it's really hilly. And they come up here. They use so much salt on my road that when the snow melts, it looks like I'm on the Great Salt Flats in New Mexico because everything turns white. I mean, God forbid if you have shrubbery or plants out on the edge of the road, they're dead. But we can probably send you some salt from
there you go. Nice.
Virginia.
Well,
Hey,
we have
Christmas is coming. Yeah,
we have a new mayor, and she's going to get an earful about not having enough salt before it even started snowing. We're supposed to get 60 inches this winter.
Ooh. All right. Well, Carl, make sure you send up some of that salt. Send up some of that salt.
Yes, I will. And if we run out, I'm going to go in the house and get my salt shaker.
Yeah.
Think warm thoughts and watch my
Thanks, Carl. Stay warm out there, buddy. There he is. Love it. Carl, a winter wonderland. That's beautiful out there. Shout out to him. Being out in the woods, it looks even better. So, well, let's wrap up there. Wow, Bob, from some Yiddish to credit for a 3-9 season, AG, Muji, offensive line. I mean, we covered a lot of ground. We had a lot to catch up on, Bob. It's been a hot second.
If we were facing Muji and Aaron Glenn, they would look at us and say, you guys are arguing about who we should give credit to for a 3-9 season.
They would be saying that. Yeah, that would be their response. Yeah. And then they would just get up and walk away. Sort of the same way apparently AG did Aaron Rodgers in that one meeting. Yeah. So, certainly seems the case. Well, Bob, it was great to reconnect the dots. Again, a shout out to the 300 people in the room. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure on the way out, if you haven't already, you guys hit that like button on the channel. Shout out to all the memberships that were gifted. If I didn't already, let me make sure I give a shout out. I think we gave it to Philly Noodles, but just in case. Philly Noodles, you have yourself a raffle ticket as well for our contest. I can't remember if I got to that earlier with all the Yiddish and everything else that we got through here on the channel. So hopefully we were able to get all that for you. So appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for all the memberships that came through here on the channel, whether it was our guy Philly Noodles or Ricky New York Live or EZ or James Kennedy or NC Green. You guys were all welcome here on the program. So thank you kindly. Bob, we'll have to do this again next week.
Well, that's the plan. And
all right,
here's to a good game on Sunday.
I'm not going to ask you about the result, but a good game would be wonderful. So blessed be he. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care.